everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1563 of our daily content grind. It is time for another news roundup because it is a Monday. This is what we do every Monday, ever. Not ever. There's been some preemptions. You get the point. We're doing news today. So, actually kind of a big week. We got some surprise reveals out of nowhere thanks to Takara showing off a whole slew of new toys and molds and things we've only heard of in whispers and rumors, as well as confirming a few identities. So the one obvious one you see here is, yeah, there's an animated Ratchet. I'm going to go through the initial photos and then we're going to go through some better ones. So this is the ones that everyone saw first. So Swerve, we have finally got a physical copy of the upcoming Swerve, which is, it's a Gears retool. Obviously it is. This was the big one. So we had a listing for a brand new Smokescreen, and everyone kind of went, oh, that's a weird choice to do like a new set of Datsuns. Didn't even think they needed to do them. And yet, here we are. But no, it's Prime Smokescreen out of absolutely nowhere. We're going to discuss that in here in a bit when we have better photos again. The Power Glide mold has been revealed, finally completing the I believe that is the last of the mini bots that we need a brand new mold for to get everybody out. I think that completes everything now. Now, if we can get a smaller size class so they're actually in scale with the rest of Transformers, you know, that might be a nice thing too. It'd be nice too. There's a better shot of the Swerve looking pretty good. Where's my... Do I have my Gears conveniently over here? Yes, I do. Yeah, they've completely retooled that design to have wheels on the shoulders. It looks like they're fake. It looks like they are fake wheels, but it is nice that they are going to not just like simple repaints with new heads, but they're actually going to make an attempt to make them cartoon accurate, which is good. Because the season 3 models did follow the mini bot designs a lot closer to toy accurate than the season 1 ones did. Very good looking vehicle mode on Smokescreen. Very good looking vehicle mode. Good looking vehicle mode on Power Glide. Ratchet's cool too. I really like how Ratchet turned out. Now that said, Ratchet is absolutely a retool of Hoist, which is perfectly fine. I mean, that's a decent enough mold to actually make him from. He has the same paunch designed the exact same way, so no big surprise there. It looks fine though. I wish the weapons weren't cast in red. That makes them look weird. But this minor nitpick at that point. I'm gonna take a look at the better ones here. So we got a good shot of the underside of Power Glide showing how he transforms. The arms do a lot of crazy folding, which is kind of cool. So, okay, good to see how those work. Also, the face rotates, so you do not have to be looking, staring up at his face is just staring down at the ground while he flies overhead, because that would be weird. Yeah, we saw that shot of Swerve. That's fine. There's the new Bumblebee mold. Another little shot of that one as well, and then of course, you know, Power Glide from the top. He is looking a little bit rough, only in the fact that he has so much transformation going on. He's got a lot of hinges and swivels that are showing. But then again, that does mean he's going to be a lot more complicated to transform than I expected. One thing I take in is the fact that underneath his cockpit, there's a lot of like underkibble junk, which I believe is, yeah, it's his chest sticking out. So that's a little bit of a blemish, but not terrible. Here's the thing with Smokescreen. Other than the fact that like he's got a hole going through the top of his chest, is that while it is supposed to be Prime Smokescreen, he is using the front end forward chest that is traditional of other Transformers cars, like normal Smokescreen, for instance. Excuse me, I've been talking for the last 4 hours. Give myself just a little bit of a refresher there. So, it's weird that they've designed him this way, but then again, this will let him be more easily retooled into other characters. So that's something to keep in mind. This is done mostly for the sake of, like, eventually this is going to be somebody else. It's a pre-tool type toy. I don't know, like, it makes him look way too much like Prowl. It makes him look like a weird version of Prowl from a cartoon that I missed or something. But he looks like a solid enough toy besides that, though. So we're going to give him that much. There's another good look at the Ratchet. It's a really nice animated head sculpt on him. I don't know how much of this, as I can't see my hoist very well from here. I can't tell how much of this is reusing hoist parts, or if this is just reusing the engineering system behind the toy. Either way, he has the cut off panel kibble on the back of his shoulder that I really wanted for Trailbreaker. Why couldn't you have done that sooner? But yeah, like the new parts of him look great. Like, cannot take that away. It looks really, really nice. The vehicle mode looks spot on. I love the vehicle mode. Looks nice close up on Swerve. Swerve looking good. It's a really good mold too, so nice to see another shot at it. Power Glide looking good. It's got the respirator face thing going on. It's a little bit heavy, but it works. You know, it looks correct. You know, there's a better shot of like how far out that chest sticks out. It's not terribly far, and Smokescreen's animation model did have like a faux appearance of one, but he didn't really have that. He didn't really have that. No, it's exciting. It's a really cool set of new toys. Really cool to see like something go from rumor to display, and we didn't get any kind of leak or anything beforehand. Though I'm sure it's going to be just like a matter of weeks before the usual leakers have their hands on it to do full reviews. So I'm sure we'll see more of these relatively soon. Here's another one that someone got their hands on. So we had listings of 40th anniversary figures for the 86 movie. Here's the first one we get to see. It is the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod redone in movie accurate pink. And it's wonderful to finally see a modern Hot Rod toy done in animation accurate colors. Hasbro's obsessed with making him bright red, and there's nothing wrong with that. The original toy was bright red. But for those of us who want cartoon accurate, this is overdue. Also, I liked it because the price point is a little bit higher than it was the last time we released this, and this is already a tough sell. Because he is deluxe sized, he's just a very complex deluxe. So to bulk him out with the new Voyager price point, they have included new accessories. He comes with his fishing rod now, and he's also coming with the training weapons that he had aboard the Autobot shuttle, which is a great little touch. So it's basically everything he had in the movie, all wrapped up into him. And here was the big thing for me. Remember, on the original version, there was a patch of yellow on top of his vehicle mode because that part just happened to be molded in with all the yellow pieces that made up like his joints and his fin. Now it matches the rest of the pink, which makes me wonder why they couldn't fix that the first time around, but here at least it is fixed. So there is an argument to be made of like, if you have a problem with Hasbro doing things like this, like putting out a good but missing version of a toy, an incomplete version, and then they just drop this, you don't have to buy this. Like, if the first one is good enough for you, great. I'm probably am going to get this because I am a sucker for just like that screen accuracy. I'm a different story though. I have to keep up with current Transformer toys. It's kind of my job here. But you can vote with your wallet if you're tired of Hasbro just doing these like kind of close toys on the first run just to do much better versions on the second run. You can vote with your wallet and, keep them from getting that idea. But this is looking really good. Just saying, it's looking really good. I see that subtle darker stuff along the red ridge of his head. It's really, really nice. Looks really, really good. All right, let's get into stuff we haven't seen a lot of. So we're not going to spend too long on this, but there is brand new photos in hand for the upcoming Delta Magnus, or Powered Convoy, if you will, from Transformers Missing Link. And yeah, if you've seen the Ultra Magnus, you see how everything works at this point. I really, really like the Delta Magnus colors. A vintage Delta Magnus would be great, but this is a very pricey thing to get out of Japan now, so I don't know if I would bite the bullet on this one. Super cool that they're doing it, and really, I like the transparency of them just going like flat out, like before the Magnus is even released, going like, hey, we're doing this color scheme too. Just get the one you want to get. That's great of them. That's great of them. The reissues are continuing. We did a video earlier in the last week to talk about how crazy the amount of reissues are getting, to the point where they really should be their own toy line, not just randomly scattered about. But two new ones did drop last week, one of them being Nacelle from Siege, or Evolution technically, but it's using the Siege mold. And I continue to just ask who wanted another run of Nacelle of all things. I looked online for it. I looked at what it went for on eBay. It's going for its normal prices. And then Trailbreaker as well. Did I miss a memo where Trailbreaker became really rare and needed a reissue? I don't know at this point. It's super confusing to see old figures like this in the old packaging back on a shelf for no apparent reason. No apparent reason given. If that's not enough reissue for you, there's another one announced. Road Pig. Road Pig is getting another reissue. I have no idea why. It might be because, like, I don't know, was this just like one of the most popular ones out of the Star Raiders? Like, if you're just completing your G2 collection, maybe? I don't know. This seems like a really weird one to reissue because most stores didn't really do well with the Star Raiders in the first place. I don't remember this one being hard to find. I thought this one was just as hard to find, as easy to find as all the other Star Raiders were. Like, you either didn't have a store that got them in because they were so burned on Velocitron and all of them, or your store just could not sell these for anything. I don't know. Either way, this is a weird reissue, but good luck to those who missed out on it, I guess. Here's another one that's returning. So, last week we saw those brand new Transformers Core series figures. The ones that are the generic white packaging. Like the ones that are basically replacing, like taking the place of Earthspark on the shelves. So we have now found out that also returning and being part of that line are the tiny turbo changers. This is stock imagery. This is not indicative of what we are actually getting. All we know is that they are coming back. So expect soft plastic, blind bagged little figurines of Transformers that have a very basic Micromaster-esque transformation to them. These are cute, these are harmless, and it's Hasbro's way of securing a lot of trademarks that otherwise are going unused, so this is not a terribly big surprise. So we'll see how they do, and I'm hopeful they pick up a few that might be fun to have in little micro size. New episode of Transformers Cyberworld is out. We're up to episode 19. This actually came out a few days ago. And this one focuses, as you can see, on Wheeljack, who's been missing from the series to this point. So we find out exactly what happened to him. Again, it's a fun episode. It's a little bit different than the others, but like they're continuing to put on a fun little 5-minute show. So nothing to really speak on about it because I don't want to spoil it. Just go watch it for yourselves. McFarlane Toys gets to do another weird Transformer item. This time they are doing 1/3 scale Transformer bust statues. And these being obviously Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and Megatron, the big three of the franchise. I don't know why there's weathering on the base painted on in advance. That seems like a little sloppy. I personally wouldn't want that on something that I'm going to put on a desk and hoping it looks really nice. These are actually well sculpted. See, I trust McFarlane when it comes to like little collectible things. I do not trust him when it comes to like anything with articulation. McFarlane Toys are not the most stable of action figure I've ever messed with. The Megatron looks off. I think part of it is how flat his face is. I think part of it is how small his eyes are. But Megatron looks a little bit off to me. Like, it feels like his eyes are too small or his face is too stretched, something of that nature. It's throwing me off. I'm not a fan of it. Something about it just looks weird. And then Optimus Prime. And Optimus Prime looks fine. Optimus Prime kind of looks like G1 Optimus Prime. He's got that like baseball cap looking piece to his helmet. You know, he's got his antenna. This should be straight up. But okay, whatever. Maybe they're insert pieces that you can just turn if you need to. I don't know. They should be inexpensive enough. You know, they'll be large, but they'll be plastic. So, like, you shouldn't be paying too much for them. But Uh, there's just going to be a nice little collectible for those who just kind of want something weird like that. Yeah, that's a PVC statue. Apparently up for pre-order now. Do we have a price point on these? Yeah, 19.99. You know, like for a scaled head, it's gonna be like yay big on a shelf. Yeah, that's actually pretty reasonable. I will completely go with that. 3-0 had a few reveals for us, and they begin with the MDLX Shockwave, who looks a little scrawny in this photo, admittedly, but he's also not wearing a lot of his accoutrement. Incredibly high detailed Shockwave, extreme amounts of detail going into the guy. Looks a lot better with his battery pack and his armor put on, so I will give him that. It's a little weird. Like, Shockwave always strikes me as a little bit chunkier, even despite what his original toy looks like. But this guy, this guy's not too bad. This guy's not too bad. If, like, you like the heavy, like, exaggerated detail look on a Transformer, this guy has you. Like, this is your guy. Yeah, he does look cool. I mean, it's hard for Shockwave to not look cool. Shockwave is just a really cool villain design. I like that his like faux fusion cannon fits on both hands too. They're not just stuck with like using it on the gun hand. Though you can give him his actual fists as well. And apparently there's an exclusive version with translucent fists to match the original toy. Fun. Yeah, neat little piece. Neat little piece. Like, he does look really, really cool. Maybe not quite my aesthetic, but, you know, I wouldn't say no to him. He looks cool enough. And on the same similar note, they're continuing their line of Seekers, meaning we get Ramjet now. Ramjet being a retool and repaint of their existing Seeker molds. You do see a lot of the familiar detail, a lot of the extreme, greeble going on with him as well. Not quite as heavy as it is on Shockwave. But he's looking pretty good too. He's looking pretty good too. See, this is where like you really need to like scuff up the cone and give that like the paint wear needs to be there because he's supposed to be ramming into things. But it's a cool paint job nonetheless. I do like how he turned out. Now, let's go into Yolo Park, who's showing off their new figure in the AMK Pro series. This is Arcee from Rise of the Beast. I'm glad they're continuing these, despite, Rise of the Beast being pretty old at this point, but it seems like they're dedicated to getting a full cast out there for at least the Autobots. And Arcee in this movie was actually kind of awesome. So I'm actually kind of happy to see that she's getting like a high-end, looks really, really good, really, really accurate kind of figure. Yeah, and they didn't cake her up either. That's entirely accurate design to her. Yeah, they didn't exaggerate anything. She looks pretty spot on to her movie model. Yep, good looking articulation. She's got Arcee printed down a thigh like she's a G2 toy or a Transmetal toy. Just funny to me. It's like, I just assigned myself this name as soon as we got to Earth. I just need a reminder. I just need to look down every time I forget how to introduce myself. Yeah, she is looking really, really cool. See, now you need to 3D print the wheeljack for her to just be hanging out of, firing off her guns. All right, let's see. Let's see what Blockies has. So, if you're in China and you have the ability to buy a full set of their new Blockies wheels, the vehicle mode series of Blockies, then you would also get this Nemesis Prime as a gift, meaning this is going to be exceptionally difficult for you Blockies completists to actually locate. He does look pretty good. It's a black Optimus Prime with teal lines. It's hard to get it wrong. I do wish that they had gone with a different paint mask so the stripes could be a little bit different, but it's still not a bad look. He looks pretty good. And it's a black Optimus Prime. It's very hard to make them look bad unless you're the designer for Velocitron. And we're going to finish it up with something a little bit weird and kind of expensive, but fancy for you big end collectors. So we have limited run prints for the Transformers, the movie posters. And this is being done in aluminum. So these are full metal posters by Bottleneck Gallery. The 1986's The Transformers the movie has entertained us alongside millions of other fans for decades, and we're excited to team up with Hasbro to release a 3D lenticular and aluminum panel print of this iconic poster. The poster will feature action pass. Yeah, we know all this. We know all this. So you have your choice of a 3D lenticular, which is going to run you $100. There's only 100 of them. A 3D lenticular Plex, which looks to be a little bit heavier duty, same size but different materials. 1 millimeter of PET versus 4 millimeters of polystyrene. So if you want something thicker, heavier, a little bit more durable, then you get the $200 edition. There's only 50 of those. And then the aluminum panel, where it is 2 millimeters of aluminum with the original movie poster printed on it. If you like your metal posters that do hit different, I will admit, they're $175 and there's 50 of them. So for you who like the fancier collectibles or always wanted the Transformers movie poster to do a weird 3D thing for some reason, those are now going to be available to you. And that is going to do it for our news roundup, everything that happened in the week of Transformers that you should know about. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.